So the media owners, let's say all the big media houses in your country or in Germany, they provide media to media for equity providers like my company or the German media pool or the most popular player probably in the world for media for equity, Seven Ventures. These are all German companies, the three of us. On the other hand, there is 5M Ventures, a French company, and Aggregate, the original founder of Media for Equity. They're already in this business for more than 10 years. These companies manage the media that has been provided from the media owners and look for high potential startups where they can invest the media in. So it's an alternative way to finance. In the end, the media for equity providers are receiving shares of your company in return for significant amounts of real working media. And now I want to give you a short introduction of the media for equity providers in Europe. There are not so many, but it's quite a hot topic in Germany. Available is media for equity in Scandinavia by Aggregate Media, in Germany by Leverett Media, Seven Ventures and German Media Pool, and now in France by 5M Ventures as well. So the market is still very young, it's still growing, but it has a lot of potential because all the media houses have one big problem, and that is unsold media. The largest and most popular media for equity investor in Germany is Seven Ventures. This is the venture arm of Germany's second biggest TV station. They invested within the last 3 years more than 300 million euro in gross media. So they really made large and strong investments like Delivery Hero. They did media for revenue deals with Zalando, and they were even invested in Trivago, a company that has been sold for 450 million euro last year. Seven Ventures is not so popular anymore within startups in Germany. I mean, the media is high quality, it really works for startups, but at the moment when you watch a spot of Pro7 and Sat.1 where the media has been displayed, you're seeing 5 to 10 startups in a row. So the effect is getting lower and lower. It's not as good as it was maybe 5 years ago. But they are still very strong on the market, and behind this media for equity provider, they are working 25 people. I mean, there you can see this is quite a big, let's say, media VC in Germany, and they have their very strong position, and they're investing a lot. And they get the top shots of the German startup market. A much smaller player in Germany is the German media pool. They are only based on classic media like niche TV stations, print, and out of home, and a bit of radio. So this media is maybe a bit difficult to use for startups that have a business that is based on online or mobile media. This was one of the reasons why we decided that there is definitely the need for a media for equity provider that focuses the media that is the most obvious for startups. And that is online, mobile, and all the digital channels. Aggregate Media is the original inventor of media for equity. They have been founded in Sweden almost 10 years ago, and they did more than 85 investments within 10 years. And of these 85 investments, they exited 75. They are not holding the investments very long, so they're giving the startups media, holding them for maybe a year or 1.5, and are selling them in a portfolio to secondary funds, and are more standardized, industrialized media for equity provider. This model is very successful. I mean, in a market like Sweden with 8 million people that are living there, it really works. They are like traditional media monetization channel for the media companies there, and they're getting more or less every startup. When you're in Scandinavia and you're mentioning the name Aggregate Media, it's like a media agency. Everyone knows them and everyone works with them. Nevertheless, out of these three models that I just showed you, a corporate media for equity investor like Seven Ventures, an independent investor like German Media Pool, and another independent investor like Aggregate Media in Sweden, we decided to bring up our own model that was a bit different. We focused on our three key stakeholders. I mean, in the end, the startups are all about growth. They want to scale their business because this is the most important thing for them, because they need the size to become big enough for raising new money, getting a higher valuation, and giving not so much shares up for less money. The media owners have to monetize their media assets. All media houses all over Europe, they all have unsold media. They cannot sell all their media for the same prices that they get from media agencies or direct customers. So there's always media available. Some of these media houses are selling the media in equity deals on their own, but there you have no cross-media mix. And this is definitely needed to achieve the reach that you need and to contact your customer, your clients, your user as often as it's necessary. And this is not done with just one channel like print, radio, or TV. The venture capital funds like our model a lot because in the end they do not have to take their own money and invest it in a significant €1 million marketing campaign, especially for branding and not only performance and to build up a brand. So they have the security that we are taking care of that we're really working hard on it to make the startup bigger and to scale it. Therefore, very often, especially in Germany, they come to us and they offer us companies that we can scale. Another thing that was very important for us that came up when we had all of discussions with the Swedish guys from Aggregate was to bring in companies from other countries to Germany because the German media market is very complex, very intransparent. In the end, maybe you see a rate card from a media agency, there's written €100, but in the end you just have to pay 10. It's all about negotiation. There's a big, big gross net gap, and this gap we wanted to close. As I said before, the media owners have huge amounts of unsold media inventory. They do not want to give it away cheaper, so they're looking for new channels to monetize it. They have big problems as well with the shift of budgets from the developed countries to the emerging markets, especially in Asia, so they are looking for new channels where they can win new customers. The increasing dependencies on agencies and major customers is increasing as well. Therefore, they are very interested in finding new customers. When you're talking to the big media companies in Germany, none of them has startups on their list. They're not booking there, they're going to Google or Facebook, and they're investing their money there, not at the classic media houses. Therefore, we were looking for a way to monetize very high quality premium media, to give it to startups and capitalize these assets for the media owners, because this is one of the most important things that they have to address. And by this way, by getting new customers, especially from the startup area that have not been booked before, they're on traditional basis, they were even able to decrease the independencies of these channels. For the startup, our model is very attractive. Especially in Germany, it's not easy to raise 1 or 2 million for marketing budgets. So you have to look for alternative channels. Therefore, within the last years, especially by the work of 7 Ventures, media for equity became more and more popular. So startups are actively looking for alternative financing methods to get marketing budget, especially in premium media, in TV and online and so on. Therefore, we offer them very, very powerful cross-media campaigns, and they do not have to go to their VC and ask for this money that they never would get. So VCs like the channels that they can track, that they can see on Google, that they have a dashboard on Facebook, and see what the performance was. When it gets a bit more complex, when you see branding effects as well, when you have to calculate them, then you need other ways to get the budget. As I said before, for the VCs, this model is very attractive. They do not have to invest their own money, so the media from that is coming for us. Of course, there will be some dilution for them, but in the end, it's not as bad as if they would take their own money. What else we are doing is we are offering them a kind of call option, so they can buy the shares back within 4 or 6 months. So in the end, even when the media does not work, out of any reasons, who knows, they do not have to waste any money. But if the startup could be scaled, if the revenues was tripled or even managed to make it 5 times higher, then the VC is very interested to buy the shares back by a very low multiple. And these options we offer to VCs to attract them to our model. Therefore, we made it possible that all our key stakeholders get under this very attractive model and probably, get a bit of understanding what we are doing and why we are doing it. And therefore, I want to give you some advice. If you are interested in media for equity, you can do a lot of things wrong. Media for equity is very, very difficult in the advisory. I mean, in the end, you have to know what kind of channels of media you need, what kind of channels you have. Therefore, we delivered a three-step approach to evaluate if a company is ready for a media for equity deal. Before we do a media for equity deal, we have to assure that the media really works, that we are not investing media in a startup that is not ready to take the media. Therefore, always the first step is a media pre-advisory. So we are checking everything, the whole infrastructure of a company, for example. Is the conversion rate acceptable? Is the company healthy enough to handle the media? I mean, the most worst thing that could happen is we are investing a couple of million euro in media. You're having large online campaigns, TV campaigns. They're coming suddenly 500% more user to your company, and then suddenly the whole website breaks down. These things cannot happen, and we cannot communicate them to the media owners. So therefore, we are taking a lot of care in this first step to help you to assure that your company is ready to take the media.
I think that's the main reason.
If we get a result that this media really could work with you and that it helps your business, that it can be scaled, then we are ready to start a much, much closer analysis of the business. Then we make you a media plan and we show you how to scale the media. This step takes quite a long time because when we do it, we evaluate your business on your whole customer journey. So we are showing you why do you need this kind of media in the beginning, why do you need this kind of media a bit later. By this approach, we can make sure that the media really works. In the end, we are all based, how we make money is based on a provision. So if you're not successful with it, we're making no money as well. So for us, it's a whole performance deal as well. And therefore, the first step takes quite a while until we can finish it. After that, the more traditional VC phase starts. I mean, we are doing a classical due diligence. We're planning the media selection. We present you tax and legal solutions, how you can handle the media, because in the end, you're getting an asset for free, for shares, but this is not a value that you can show to your financial officer. After that, we start with a media reservation, because this campaign can run 1 year or 2 years or even longer. So we have to book the media, sometimes at 3 or 4 media companies in a country, and show that it works and how it works. After that, we can more or less fix a contract and start with the delivery of the media. After that, we will never leave the startup alone. In our approach, we are helping the startup with the whole media operations the whole time. So what we saw at German Media Pool or 7 Ventures was when the deal was closed, when they got the shares, it was over for them. They got their media, they got a plan, and maybe for a year the media was delivered. But this is not the right approach. In the end, you do not know exactly before what kind of placement, what kind of ad, what kind of channel works for your business. And you have to adjust it all over the campaign. And this is something that we do and that we can do. We have agreements with our media owners that we can change the placements whenever we want and however we want it. Therefore, we deliver a whole campaign management, media buying, execution. This is almost a full media agency service, and that makes the whole campaign work. There we guarantee, more or less, that the media that we are providing is not just there, that we optimize it for you, and that we use targeting systems that you just reach the targeting groups that is important for you. Therefore, it's all based on holistic and detailed media plan that is targeted and changed all the time. Thank you.